Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the marijuana sector. So first up is ticker symbol MJ. This is the Alternative Harvest ETF. Nice follow through today after bouncing off of the middle Bollinger Band on Friday. It bounced off this dotted purple line that's also the 20-day simple moving average, closed back above EMA's 4, 8, and 13. So that was a nice close. Now it needs to break the closing price here on the 12th. That is the key level to break. If it can close above that level, that's going to signal more upside potential. If it stalls out here and closes back below EMA 4, it could possibly consolidate and pull back to that middle Bollinger Band. Okay, take a look at Hmlsf. This is Horizon's Marijuana Life Science Index ETF, and it has a very similar pattern. It bounced off of the middle Bollinger Band. It did drop below briefly on Friday, but it closed back above EMA 13, held that support level here at 1694, and it did close back above EMA 4 at 1750. That's the key level to hold. If it closed back below that level, it would signal downside risk, putting that 1650 support zone back on deck. To the upside, it needs to break this closing price here on the 12th where the doji formed. If it can break above that level with the close above, that would signal it wants to keep pushing higher. Okay, let's look at Tilray. Tilray, amazing, just does not want to pull back. Closed up another 10% today. Was up, I think, as much as 14-15% during the trading session. It's stalling out, or at least today it stalled out at this closing price from last Thursday on the 13th closing price level, and so that's the big level to break, basically 120. If it can stay above 120 and turn that into support, then it'll signal it wants to keep pushing higher. If you see it drop below 120, that's going to signal potential, temporary top, and then watch EMA 4 at 111.78. That level has been holding during the uptrend. Once that level breaks with the close below, that's when you're going to see some consolidation. Okay, take a look at CGC here. Here's Canopy Growth. Nice bounce once again off of that middle Bollinger Band, that 20-day simple moving average. It bounced off of this zone. It did drop well below, so people that loaded on this $41 support level were rewarded with the big move back up to $50. So that was a sweet bounce, a big play. It needs to stay above the middle Bollinger Band at 46.50. If it were to drop below that level, that would signal downside risk. Now to the upside, 52 is a big level to break, as you can see here. This 52.50 level, there was a top here at the first trading day of September, and then it topped out again at that level on the 10th. It's going to need to break above that level and turn it into support to head higher. That's the all-time high close level. Failed to break through this 52 to 53 level, and that could signal a temporary top. You're going to know the chart's breaking down if it drops below 46.50 in that middle Bollinger Band. Okay, take a look at Cronos Group, ticker symbol CRON. So this is bucking the trend here, and it was having a rough day today, down 2% when other stocks in the sector were having nice days. So keep an eye on RSI now at 52. If you see a drop below 50, that's going to be a red flag. Check out the ADX here with plus DI, the green line, ADX, the black line, and minus DI, the red line, completely pinched here. Look at that. They're all at the exact same level. Now what you want to see here if you're a bull is that green line bounce off and start heading back higher. You do not want to see the red line break above the green and the black lines. Okay, so this did close back below that middle Bollinger Band. It had closed briefly above it on Friday. Notice how the last three candles were trying to hold that level. Well, the close below 1052 today does signal downside risk. It needs to get back above 1050. If 1050 is resistance, it's going to pull back. That is the downside risk here. It could possibly start a new downtrend. If you see it close back above 1050, that's going to put it back in play. Once it gets back above that middle Bollinger Band, then it could push higher again. Notice how it has the descending resistance line going. Right now you're looking at this horizontal support level is going to be the big level to hold here. Here, let me just do it like this real quick. Down here, this level was tested on the dip here, on that dip on Friday, and so this is going to be the big support level to hold right around 915 or so. The downside risk here is if the middle Bollinger Band turns into resistance, it could possibly retrace back down to that 50-day simple moving average at $8. Okay, let's look at Iipr here. Okay, this is another big board marijuana sector play. Trades on the New York Stock Exchange. this is a real estate company. They buy buildings and lease them out to marijuana companies in exchange for equity, stake in the company, and a monthly check. And so, yeah, they've got a nice business model going. It retraced back down to that middle Bollinger Band here at 4170. Just to throw it out there, Motley Fool had this as one of the most undervalued marijuana sector stocks. You can check that out on Motley Fool. That was just posted today, I believe. As long as that 4150 level holds, this 4170 level, the middle Bollinger Band, then this uptrend should continue. If it drops below, that's going to signal downside risk. For all these stocks, if that middle Bollinger Band turns into resistance, they could head down to that 50-day simple moving average. Notice descending resistance. It has to break above 43 to head higher. Okay, take a look at Nept here. This was the big play today. Notice, it was up big today, but notice accumulation distribution here. A big spike down, and then you had barely up for shaken money flow, and it was below the previous day's histogram bar, so it actually retracted. And so the reason why I'm showing you this is because look at the volume. This was a big volume day. All right, and so big volume, and then but you had a pullback on it was a green day though, but check out the black candle. The open was up here, and then the close was down here, and so that signals the bears were in control. Even though it was up 10% on the day, the bears were actually driving it lower into the close. And so what's happening is it's stalling out at this resistance level from back here in June. There was a high in June, and then that level was tested in September, and that's where the run stalled out. And then the gap up open today, it failed to stay above that level, basically 445. Okay, if it could stay above 445, then 470 will be the big level to break. Trading above 470 would be really bullish. That would be a clear signal that it wants to head higher. Now, the downside risk is there's a gap between high of day on Friday and low of day today. A drop down here to test that middle Bollinger Band at 389 would fill the gap. That looks like the setup here. Fill the gap, bounce off, and then possibly come back up and test that middle that 450 resistance zone. Has to break this high close level to head higher. If it dropped below the middle Bollinger Band at 389, that would signal downside risk. Okay, let's look at Acbff. Had big news today. They were in the news with Coca-Cola, talking about teaming up with them for possible CBD, non-THC marijuana beverages. And so this is huge news for the stock. Closed up 17, nearly 18%. We've been saying the whole time that this is one of the top cannabis companies, and they are set up for potential deal with the big beverage companies. And so yeah, that news came out today. Interesting though, the other ones had been alcohol beverage companies. So having the largest beverage company in the world, soft drink company, Coca-Cola, is a huge deal. And so today it had a big gap up open. Notice it closed above the descending resistance line and the 200-day simple moving average. That $7 resistance zone. The 200-day simple moving average is currently at 710. Notice the tops here. It had been trying to break that level and had been stalling. Well, today it finally broke that level with this huge gap up open. And so the key now is to stay above $7. If it can stay above 7, then it could push higher and head back up to this $9 level where the previous high was back in March. It needs to get above, it's stalling out now at June high close resistance, basically in this $8 resistance zone. If it can break above 8, it could get a run back up to that $9. That's where it should be headed with the good news. I mean, look at the huge volume today behind the move. This is, I believe, the largest volume day in the history of the company. And so, yeah, this should be able to hold, you would think on this kind of news, it would be able to hold the 200-day simple moving average and then be able to make a rally up to that $9 level. Keep in mind, if it did drop below the 200-day simple moving average to $7, it could come down to that middle Bollinger Band at 660 and test support. Okay, let's look at Aphqf. Aphria. This is the dark horse. This is one of the top marijuana companies in the world, arguably undervalued according to Motley Fool, another one of the undervalued marijuana sector stocks. And yeah, this is a major marijuana producer, and so since it trades in the OTC and then at the Toronto Stock Exchange, it doesn't get the kind of notoriety that CGC and Cronos Group and Tilray are getting right now. But believe me, it's a top dog, and at any time they could come out and say a major beverage company is teaming up with them as well. And so, or, you know, somebody could try to buy these guys, take them out. I mean, they're huge. I mean, this is a huge company. You know, they're doing a great job. And so this is one to have in the portfolio. You know, you never know when you wake up and then it happens like today where you get the big gap up open on the beverage news. One day you're going to wake up and Aphria is going to have some good news, more than likely. And so the big level to break right now is 1650. Okay, so it needs to close above that level to head higher. That's the high close from the 10th. If it fails to break that level, it could stall out. Right now, it needs to hold 15. That's the key support level. If it were to drop below, it could come back down and test that middle Bollinger Band at 1292. Okay, take a look at Ogrmf, ticker symbol OGRMF. Closed up 4.7% today. Notice that it pulled back here to the middle Bollinger Band once again and bounced off that level. Anytime you can reload off the middle Bollinger Band, you're getting a good low entry point. The middle Bollinger Band is the bottom of the bullish uptrend channel, and so if you can load off that level, you're loading off the bottom of the channel. Now the top of the channel is the upper Bollinger Band. That's currently at 608. That's lining up with the high close here in the $6 resistance zone. That's going to be the big level to break going forward. It's going to have to break above $6. Trading above 6 is going to signal more upside potential. Fail to break that level will signal a temporary top. This is a takeover candidate. Lots of talk about this company being one of the top marijuana sector stocks. It's you know, undervalued right now, and it has a big you know, compared to the other sector, compared to its peers. Okay, it's an attractive company here, and it's got this is a solid, very good run, well-run company. Has a huge volume spike here on the 11th. That's people loading potentially for the breakout higher. You never know when good news is going to come on that stock, but I'm pretty darn certain good news will come at some point. Okay, let's look at Cnttf here. This is Canntrust Holdings, and so this is also touted as one of the top undervalued marijuana stocks. Motley Fool really likes this stock. It closed up 4%. The reason why I keep mentioning Motley Fool is because they're one of the only major publications that are doing, you know, daily technical analysis and analyzing fundamental analysis, I should say, for the marijuana sector stocks. And so it's cool. They've been providing good coverage. And so if you combine their fundamental analysis along with our technical analysis, it makes for a really good, you know, very good trading strategy. And so yeah, and there are lots of publications that publish marijuana sector news. And so yeah, New Cannabis Ventures is an app. You got to have that app. That's a really good one. And so this once again came down here and bounced off of the middle Bollinger Band here at 779, and then it's back up here at this 960 resistance zone. Okay, so this is the big level. If it can get through 920, 960 is the big level to break for all these stocks in the marijuana sector. What they have to do is they have to keep making new high closes. If they keep making new high closes, here's a close and a higher close, you know, a lower close, higher close. The higher close signals more upside. As long as it keeps making higher closes, it's going to keep heading higher. Once that stops and it stops to make higher closes, that's your red flag. Okay, it's stalling out, and then you look for support breaking. If it stalls out and fails to make a new high close and then support breaks, that's where you get the pullback. Okay, let's look at Nxttf here. All right, so this is another top marijuana sector stock. Closed up 5% today. They supply the equipment. They're teamed up with a lot of the big dogs, you know, where they have some big contracts with the top players. So this is a legit company. Notice how the volume's been picking up as the share price is rising. People were loading heavy off of this 180 support zone, and then yeah, the big level to break is up here at 270, 275. If it can get above the closing price on the 11th with a close above, it should head higher. It has to break EMA 4 at 231. For all these stocks, they have to get back above the EMA 4. If that level is resistance, that could pull back and consolidate. Okay, let's look at Gtbif. This stock is a beast, all right? Not sure if you know about this one. This is Green Thumb Industries. I have had it in previous videos, but yeah, this is one to definitely take notice. It's making new all-time highs. All right, I think the all-time high is the top of this candle right here, and you can see today, today might have hit at just below that level. Maybe that's 1851 is the all-time high, and today it hit 1850. Today was the all-time high close for the stock. This stock has never closed at a higher level in the history of the stock. And so that's a major green light. That's signaling more upside potential. This is a blue sky breakout right now. You know, it's hitting new all-time high levels. And so if it can get above 1851, there'll be no upside resistance. It's never traded above that level. And so what you want to see right now is you want to see 17 hold. As long as 17 holds, the party should continue. If it breaks, last time EMA 8 held here at 16, you know, you could see it drop down to 16, and then also EMA 13 held on that open. All right, as long as those moving averages are holding, the chart's still super strong. It's when they break, they come down to that middle Bollinger Band. If the middle Bollinger Band holds, the uptrend can still be intact. It's just when these moving averages break, that gives you a chance to reload lower. All right, so right now we're looking at a blue sky breakout. It does have a little declining volume pattern, so the buyers are tiring, but this is still good volume for this stock. You want to see it break above 1850 and trade above that level. If you look at this chart here, you can see it had this big gap up back here in June, and then traded in a tight channel, and then over here in the beginning of September it broke out above that level, and now it's been pushing higher. Notice how big the volume is now compared to what it was before. So big volume has entered this trade as it's headed higher. And now look at the Gtbif monthly chart. You could see here this is this is the beginning of trading for the stock. All right, so it's hitting these all-time high levels on RSI and Fasto. You've got plus DI bouncing. Check out that huge candle a couple of months ago. It went from way down here at 3 cents, and now it's trading at $18. I mean, this is one of the biggest winners, right? I mean, this was sub-penny. I mean, look at it traded at double zeros back here in June, and now it's at $18. This is why people trade penny stocks. Yeah, as long as it keeps holding EMA 4 at 1220 on the monthly chart, the chart is super strong. Look at that volume coming in. Wow, congrats to anyone that loaded this down at sub-penny. That was amazing. You are an awesome trader. Good job. Okay, check out Tgodf. This is the green organic Dutchman. All right, so this is another top dog. This is the organic. If you like organic herb, if you're the organic person, if you're into organics, you shop at freaking Wild Berries, or what is it? Oh, geez. There you go. So if you shop at organic natural food stores, Whole Foods, if you shop at Whole Foods, and where I live, it's Wild Berries is one of the places for natural foods. But anyways, if you're a Whole Foods kind of person, if you're organic, crunchy granola kind of guy or gal out there, this is your company. This is the organic farmers. And so, yeah, you want to support these guys. If you're a long-term investor, look at the big volume coming in over here. The people in the industry like this company. They like what they're doing. I like what they're doing. I like organics is good for the earth. And yeah, if it can break above 650 here, then it can keep pushing higher. It has a nice uptrend. Right now, it's trying to break this double top level. It had a top back here in June. Notice how it hit the June level, pulled back. It closed above that level on this white candle, and that signals more upside potential. When you get a close above the level, it signals more upside. It did pull back, and now it's hitting that level again. It needs to bust through. So trading above 6 and turning that into support, that should be the signal that the green organic Dutchman wants to fly higher. Okay, let's look at General Cannabis Corporation, ticker symbol CANN. I'm going to leave you with this one. Closed up nearly 8% today. Yeah, keep an eye on it. All right, so this is one of your United States marijuana companies. I just showed you a whole bunch of Canadian companies. There were some other American ones earlier, Iipr, but yeah, most of these were Canadian. Nept was another American, but yeah, so are U.S. But yeah, we've got so basically with CANN came down here. Look at the V-shaped recovery, down, up, V-shaped, and so it filled the jar back to this resistance level. And so it's all about right now this red line getting above the 200-day simple moving average at 394 and then breaking through this 410 to 420 level. If it's trading above Elon Musk's favorite number 420, that should be the signal that it wants to break out higher. So keep an eye on $4 and 420. Trading above 420 should be the signal. The cannabis, general cannabis, wants to keep breaking out higher. It's all about the 200-day simple moving average. Fail to break that level, and it will be a temporary top. All right, thanks for checking out the marijuana video tonight. I really appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.